Hey YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. Um, I don't think you guys can see me because it's kind of late. But, yeah, I have a few thoughts, guys, tonight. Well, here's the first one. I always had a suspicion that music performance, wasn't my best area in music. And it isn't necessarily just because of what I'm actually really good at. Music performance takes, and to play in an orchestra, I do very well with what I do. I do. It's just there's a lot of things I do very, very, very well, but it's just not my best area. And I just not when you get really, really, really busy, it is really easy for me to get something. Let's say it one more time. It's really easy when when I get really, really busy. It's very easy for me to forget something. So just to give you guys an idea of what I'm doing every day, my schedule and everything like that. I don't know if you guys watch this stuff, how much of my videos you watch. Some of you guys do. My schedule is changing every single day. It's also changing every single week because I have vacations I'm having to deal with, reschedules and things. So I like just tomorrow, for instance, I have a student I usually teach in the evening. I'm teaching him in the morning at 10 in the morning for a few hours. Then after that, I'm having lunch somewhere. Then I have a few hours to just kill somewhere before I teach somebody at 3:15 for an hour. Then another half hour after that guy. Then I have to have to take care of some stuff at some point regarding cleaning or whatever, either gardening or taking care of some stuff. And then on Friday, I have a student at 4, which is a little. Thankfully, Friday's a little bit more free. That's it for an hour. Then Saturday, I have to cancel a bunch of lessons or reschedule them, at least some. And then I have a concert that day, which I have to pay again for parking. I have to pay to gas to go down there. I'm not making any money. Um, this is all something that I said, oh, Seattle Philharmonic needs some help. Okay, I'll help them out. And I'm not getting anything for it other than the playing and the experience and the musicality, but nothing tangible. Then on Sunday, I have a church calling where I play for the choir every third Sunday. And so that's going on. And then I'm going home to visit my parents Sunday afternoon. We'll be back Monday. And then I start teaching at 11:45 in Seattle. Going from there over to Woodinville at 1:30 to 2:30. And then I believe, if not, I might have to double check my schedule, but I have some students that are starting up at 3 on Monday. Then I have, of course, my 4:30 horn student in Redmond. Then I have my usual schedule, uh, 6 p.m. in piano student, and then for 45 minutes, and then I have another hour after that of teaching piano students over in Bothell, and then I'm going home. Then Tuesday, I have students every other week. I'm teaching these folks at 1. Then I have a new student, I believe, starting up, a horn student starting up after that. Then I have my 4 o'clock student for a half hour. Then I have another student at 5. Then I usually have something that evening. I may have, well, anyway. And that's just kind of the rest of this week and then the beginning of next week. You guys can see what's going on a little bit. That's not to mention a gazillion other things I have to do. I have to email back a lady, for instance, and specify pedal things that she asked about. I have to work on a transcription thing for a lady that she's paying me for, but she doesn't want me to rush it. Lady I teach. I am also working on. There's a horn thing that I've been asked about, a horn competition, thing that I was just told about, and then let me see. Oh, then I can actually get to the cleaning and the organizing, and more gardening. There's always gardening. There's always slugs trying to eat my strawberries. I'm not there. And oh, by the way, I have to see if I can pick up my landlord on Saturday after I'm done playing, I think. So some of you guys might assume that I have all this time in my hands to do whatever I want to do. That's often not the case. And I have to keep my head on straight. I almost lost some orchestral music for the orchestra I'm in. I left it at a last rehearsal. That could have been really super serious. That could have been really serious. I mean, it wouldn't have booted me out of playing in orchestras for the rest of my life. But I would have had to pay a pretty heavy fine, and if I didn't get the music back. And I'm just fortunate that somebody picked it up for me. So I don't. This is what I don't want. I don't want anybody. I don't care how old you are. I don't want anyone on YouTube thinking anything weird or erroneous about me, simply because I only am being very candid and honest and open with you guys about my life on this channel. And I don't want anyone to think that I sit around and do nothing, or that I'm some like weird idiot guy, or I don't know what you guys think. Some of you guys think. But the fact is, if you think something weird about me, and so many of you guys, some of the comments I've gotten, I actually have to ask, are they for real, right? I have to ask now. I have to, not for the people that are subscribed to me, that I like, I'm not talking to you guys. I'm actually talking about just YouTube people in general. Has the average IQ of the average YouTube commenter, has it slipped? Or has it always been well below 100? Because 100 is average. And I almost feel like I'm insulting people that have naturally low IQ. It shouldn't be about IQ. I think what I'm talking about is, can some of you guys, and I haven't gotten any bad comments for a while, thankfully. But if I get any bad comments, or if I get any stupid comments, I actually have to ask the question to some people, like, did you actually graduate from high school? Did you graduate from junior high? Did you have any schooling whatsoever? Do you have any real comprehension of another person? Actual real comprehension. Ballpark idea. And I'm really kind of going into this. I'm really laying into this pretty hard. And I understand I am. That's in the case of getting an idiotic comment to this video. Just because I'm being really brutally honest with you guys about what's going on right now in my life. Yes, I chose my career. Yes, it's extremely stressful. No, I didn't know how stressful it would be when I was in college. There was a hell of a lot of things I didn't know about in college. A hell of a lot of things. I'll be the first to admit it. I could have not gone to college. Whatever. You know. You know, it just so happens that in my life, my parents are a very big part of my life. If you guys aren't close to your parents, I can understand that. Okay, but that's how my life is. My parents are part of my life. And quite frankly, you know, it's weird because I never really felt like I had much of a choice there, but I don't mind not having much of a choice because I love my parents so much. But it was just that for a lot of life decisions, they were a big part of those decisions. And if you guys can't understand that, I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with are short-sighted, judgmental comments. And you know, this is just a small little thing we're talking about here. Just a small little thing. The more I see this stupid stuff, or I actually see it on other people's channels now. People that I don't know, you know, 40-year-old babies. I don't care. I don't know how old you guys are. 50, 60? Hopefully not that old. 20, I don't care how old you are. You could be like 15. But if you kind of like leave comments on people's channels, like you would leave a prank call at a restaurant, I would prefer the prank call type of comment. Give me the prank call comment. Do the whatever you want to do. I'll have, you know, chicken nuggets and fries, and you know, send it to 54321. You're an idiot. You know, I don't know. You know, I'm just asking the question. I'm also asking the question: is it worth it to be very candid with everybody on YouTube? I still think it is, but I have no idea. I actually emailed YouTube. I might have made a video about it, maybe not. I actually emailed YouTube in response to a message I got from YouTube as to what I think of them and how they're doing. And of course, all their questions were very polite and they covered the grounds pretty well about their website. They definitely did not talk about the Illuminati. That's definitely not something they talked about. Of course, why would they? Who admits to being a member of the Illuminati except for Jay-Z and Beyonce and those idiots? And that's just, they wear their gold chains and they're just doing it for vanity. Who knows? Who knows? Who has any ballpark of idea about that stuff? But yeah, YouTube is, you know, they'll probably, you know, I am certain that you guys could look up, you know, other people's responses to YouTube, their questions. And I'm sure they got a lot of feedback. I'm sure they did. And it was a lot of angry feedback, probably. Quite a lot of angry feedback. Why? Because YouTube originated as a website where people could post stuff and you didn't have to watch any stupid commercials and it was free. And then it became this big, huge thing, became this big, huge business. And yeah. And also worse than that is there's no other website that still can compare with YouTube's reach with the content that it has on it. So it became this monopoly, which of course I am 100% certain. Beyond that, at some point the U.S. government's going to break up that website. It's something's going to happen. They can't just continue to do business as they've done business. It doesn't work that way. Somebody's going to complain enough about these very, very loud commercials in the middle of an ASMR video that someone's trying to relax to. You know. I mean, you know, I wondered about somebody going to YouTube headquarters and blasting their commercials at them at 100 times the volume that they would blast the commercials at us. But I'm like, there are even worse things we could do against them. But then, they are providing still this great platform. But no, it used to be a heck of a lot better. Night and day difference. That's not even. I'm not even talking about waiting 11 seconds to watch your video, past the 2 ads or whatever, skip ads. I guess I'm just talking about what to make. I'm talking mainly about what to make sense of YouTube, making sense of it. I've never had anybody actually talk to me from YouTube. Nobody. Zero. Zilch. Nada. Nobody in the help center. And if I ever did, they sure as heck wouldn't even talk about the Illuminati at all. They would not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Or they deny it, of course. Stupid, man. Like. So if I ever had someone to talk to about anything, I'd probably just get the status quo answers. YouTube thinks that I'm trying to make money on YouTube, but yeah, but I haven't even figured out. There's a lot of things I haven't figured out yet. It's just a time issue, and it's just the way my mind works. I'm good at certain things, I'm not good at other things. Just like you guys. Nobody's coached me how to make great videos. I don't want to betray my personality to make more entertaining videos or videos where I'm a weirdo. And some of you guys are so used to seeing weirdos on YouTube that some of you guys can't even tell the difference between a weirdo and somebody's. You can't, it's like reality is blurred for you guys. It might sound like that's a major put down, but the funny thing is that it's more of a reality check. But it's also, I should probably be more sympathetic because a lot of people are in that same boat. And it's just the fact, that's just the way that the world is, and it's how cruel the world is. So don't worry, if you cannot tell night and day, night from day, you cannot discern people's personalities, real personalities on YouTube. It might not be your fault. It might be just the way the world is right now. Even if you're got most of your cylinders firing, if you have an IQ close to 100, I don't know. So, kind of talking about a lot of stuff, letting out a little bit of steam, perhaps. I'm okay with my conductor. Everything's just fine. No harm done. Everything worked out okay. But I'm freaking busy right now. And I'm just trying to make sure I don't forget anything else. Trying to make sure I'm Mr. Responsible here. So, as I said, YouTube has to be a much lower priority until I have bucket loads of time again and energy. I wish I could do more stuff for you guys. You should be aware. You should be aware that I read every single comment left on my channel. You guys should be aware that I can fully understand. I can read between the lines very easily. And I can most definitely understand when somebody is more mature, somewhere in the middle, or definitely not mature at all. That's as clear as crystal. Right? I could do that when I was 30, 25. So, being 44, how perceptive do you think I am by this point? Extremely. So don't underestimate in any way, shape, or form how much of you I'm able to read with you guys' comments. Because the whole point is effective communication. You have to be able to communicate. Right? The way out of the funk that we're all in is communicating with each other. Trying to find some good in the world. If you try to keep finding fault with people, you try to keep finding stuff that isn't true and not sincere about people, it's not going to help you. It never will. It's great to have fun. It's great to be funny. It's great to have jokes. That should be only a certain sliver of your life, though. Jim Carrey, he was a comedian. He did a darn good job of it. We wonder, what's going on with Jim? He seems a little odd. I'll tell you what's going on with Jim. Jim partook of probably a certain degree of Hollywood evil. It really messed up his head. It's not his fault necessarily. I don't think. In my opinion, I think he's in the right. I would say he's an innocent man by compared to what the other evils, all the other evils that are going on in Hollywood at least. What's the worst thing Jim has ever done? Be immoral? Well, that's pretty commonplace. I mean, sleep around or something? I don't know. Maybe you don't think that sexual stuff is that big of a deal. So maybe you might think something else Jim did was a worse thing. The fact of the matter is Jim is an amazing guy. I would say he's a good man. I don't know about godly, but he's a good man. And you can see that he's a good man because he actually is showing much more of himself these days. His real self. Not just the Ace Ventura, not just the mask guy, not just all the other parts he's played, which he's really gotten into, and he got into them so much that all the actors kind of get a little bit odd. They think about the energy, the sheer amount of energy it takes to act at that level. Depending on your type of your approach to acting, it can be a lot. It can affect you a lot more, or maybe not so much. This is a very deeply psychological thing. It absolutely is. But look, I mean, Jim, does he struggle with depression? Probably. Does he struggle with other things? Probably. Do I think he's a weirdo? No. Do I think he has some erroneous ideas about the world and other people? Sure, but why would that bother me? I would think that he deserves every bit of love and charitable feelings that he can get. I mean, of all people in Hollywood, Jim is one of the people I think is most deserving of kindness and empathy and listening. People genuinely listening to him. Yeah. Because, and also, he's also a little more sensitive person at heart. So things affect him a bit more, which, more than many, Oh, heck. I'll just go ahead and say it. You think Jack Nicholson is thicker skinned? Sure. But Jack has a sensitive side as well. He's mentioned it enough. Why would he lie to everybody about that? Yeah, Jack Nicholson, the grumpy, surly old man. He also has a sensitive side to him. Yes, he most certainly does. Who has thicker skin in Hollywood? Is it Alec Baldwin? I want to say he's a real jerk and he has thicker skin, but even Alec Baldwin, and he shows it with his temper. Oh, he has such a temper. You know about Alec Baldwin's temper. Alec Baldwin can still get his feelings hurt. Alec Baldwin still has, in all people, he probably is going through all kinds of crap right now. Why would Alec Baldwin be deserving of scorn? He is very liberal. He definitely hates Trump. I think it's very reasonable right now to not like Trump very much, considering all of the things that have been coming out about him. But I don't talk about Trump all the time on my channel, by the way. I'm just saying, Alec is a person just like me, and if I had a chance to talk to him, I wouldn't be unkind to him. Not at all. Why? What's the point? I don't care how many women Alec Baldwin slept with. I don't care how much of a manly man he thinks he is because of that, or if that's just a show. I don't care, how wealthy he is. I don't care about all that crap. The only thing I care about is Alec. I know you don't want to talk about this, but are you gonna be okay, man? Are you gonna be able to, hopefully you're not going to jail. Hopefully you're gonna be okay. I mean, I just want the best for you. I don't think you shot that person. I have no idea what went on in that movie, that set. But heck, I mean, you were great in Hunt for October. I know, but you have this side to you that not people. It's not as likable. But I've never had any personal beef with you. I've never known you, Alec. Why would I think anything ill of anybody in Hollywood? Most anybody, unless, yeah, I mean, like they're maybe pedophiles, maybe. But let's just take a step back here. I'm gonna get going here in a second, but I mean, I'm just like all you guys. How often do we want to point the finger at somebody that's famous and say that person's bad, and then we don't look inside ourselves? Well, I don't know, being a good person, that can mean a lot of different things to different people at different times, and but we are human beings. There are things that help us, and there are things that don't help us ultimately. And like, it's really important to know the difference. If somebody comes along and thinks it's for our best interest to completely traumatize us verbally and lash out, and every single thing they can find fault with us, they say. And but of course, the funny thing is that it's coming from a younger person. It really doesn't have the same impact at all as somebody who's older, even if they're an old man. See, older folks can see more. That's why no matter it doesn't matter if they're about to fall over. It doesn't matter how physically intimidating somebody is. If you've lived more, if you've had more experience in life, you tend to say things that people tend to pay more attention to, I would think, at least until you get senile, but you can't really help that. But it's because you have so much life experience that if an older person, and I do mean older, and I do mean somebody who has had a lot of life experience, because some people haven't, even if they get older. But if somebody's had a lot of life experience, a lot of maturing, it's a very mature person, and they say something to you, and they lay into you, that is traumatic, because you're likely to take what they're saying very seriously. And if you don't, you're an idiot. But sometimes if you're being traumatized, you can only handle so much before you can't take anymore, right? That's how, but look, that's how we are as human beings. How would I be any different than you guys if any of those things happen to us? And one of the great things about getting older is that you tend to be able to express yourself a little bit more clearly. You tend to have a lot more poise. You tend to have just been through more. You guys think that I'm very sensitive. I'm only being very candid on YouTube. I'm only really showing my real emotions. Most folks do not do that. And if any of you guys watching this video are prone to, well, first off, if you are looking for people that are being very much for real on YouTube, I am one of those people. If I wasn't here, I'd be one less very sincere person on YouTube, even if I'm angry or however I'm feeling. So, I mean, most people are not for real on YouTube. They show only one side of themselves. And some of you guys probably, really spend a lot of time on YouTube, and it's a big deal in your life. Just, I know it's a modern thing. We need to change this thing about it's not quite right, or we need to meet each other at some point if we really, whatever, I don't know. But like, but it should be said that most people on YouTube are not showing, and they're not talking about the real feelings about things. Those people that have a community of people that are usually very supportive, or they're looking for people that are being for real. I can give you some names of people that are very, very much real, but they are not in the majority, because it is hard for most people to show the real feelings on YouTube because they don't know who they're talking to, right? They just don't know who is going to listen. And they have to hear all the barbs and the insults, which YouTube, the company, seems to think is not a really big deal because they've never done jack about it. And YouTube, if you're listening to this video, I hope you take this a heck of a lot more seriously. We're talking about the mental health of the entire population of the world, for crying out loud. Everybody who watches YouTube, they're either getting bullied by people in the comments, or they're making videos, people are bullying them. Especially when, this is why some people don't put their real feelings on YouTube, because they don't want to have this crap happen to them. But I would rather be for real with you guys than be some other, whatever, do some other thing. And some people don't put anything emotional on YouTube. They just put some other stuff. So we watch that, and that's fine. And it has its place. But, it's like, This is a video sharing thing. It's a perfect way of sharing your real feelings about things, about people. And we all, as American citizens or as citizens of the world, whatever, we should all have the right to do that. And there are countries where you can't do that fully. In this country, you can. So I'm darn well taking advantage of that. I'm darn well doing that on YouTube. Because who the devil puts anything in the paper anymore in an editorial? And usually if you do that anyway, it's always about some dumb political subject. And, you know, it's like, wow, it's a no-brainer, man. No-brainer. Okay, well, I think I've said what I need to say here. Talked about a lot of things. Actors have my sympathy, as long as they haven't been pedophiles. Actresses, too. They've been worked to death. They've had weird hours. When you sleep weird hours, you start acting kind of weird. It's just, we're all human. We all do that. Some people work at night. They get depressed. We wonder why that happens. Well, it's because they're working at night. Come on, can we be a little bit more forgiving to other people? Can we get a little bit more sympathetic and understanding? Can we be better people? All right, I'll catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.